We'll be back. They just left Mass Ave here about 15 minutes ago, and they say that they will continue to support Palestinians and what's going on in Gaza right now. We can tell you that the roads that were shut down surrounding MIT have just now reopened. This is a developing situation. We are going to continue to be here for you and bring you updates all morning long. Live in Cambridge, Jordan Jagalinzer, WBZ News.
We're starting to hear some pretty important testimony in the Karen Reed murder trial. Most recently, we heard from a man named Chris Albert. That is the brother of Brian Albert, who owns the home that John O'Keefe's body was found outside of. Now, today, we are expecting more testimony from both him and potentially his wife. The defense wasting no time highlighting the Albert family's connection to Canton police. And even the lead investigator in this case, Chris, who is a Canton selectman, says that he saw John and Karen Reed at a local bar the night that John died. While Chris and his wife testified they did not attend the after party, they said their teenage son did, which really just furthered the defense's narrative that three other people, potentially including their son, are responsible for John O'Keefe's death.
At that time, you had no personal knowledge of where he had been that night, correct?
That's correct.
Since that time, you know that he was at your brother Brian's house that night, Brian Albert.
That's correct.
And we're expecting testimony to kick off this morning with Chris's wife, Julie Albert. That's slated to begin at 9. In Dedham, I'm Penny Commit, WBZ News.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says Israel will keep fighting even if America pulls back on weapons deliveries. He says the threats will not stop them from continuing their assault in Gaza. Netanyahu has vowed to move forward with an invasion of the heavily populated city of Rafah to destroy hundreds of Hamas fighters holed up there.
President Biden announcing new regulations to allow immigration officials more quickly to identify and deport migrants ineligible for asylum. It would require migrants to be assessed early in the screening process to see if they should be barred for posing any kind of threat. Those who were barred would quickly be deported. The goal of the regulation is to reduce illegal border crossings.
A federal appeals court refusing to throw out Hunter Biden's federal gun indictment. This move tees up a high-stakes criminal trial next month in Delaware. Prosecutors say Biden bought and possessed a revolver in 2018. They claim that violated federal law because he was using illicit drugs at the time. Biden has pleaded not guilty to all 3 felony counts. The trial slated to start in early June.
3 men are now under arrest for the armed robbery of a cash courier in Swansea. They're accused of zip tying and pepper spraying the courier, but the FBI says the courier freed a hand and shot at the suspect's getaway car.
Former Celtic Glenn Big Baby Davis sentenced to more than 3 years behind bars for defrauding the NBA's health insurance plan. More than 20 people were found guilty in the scheme to submit fake doctor and dentist invoices for reimbursement.
Boston with a big win in professional women's hockey. The PWHL playoff semis, and Boston and Montreal facing off in Game 1 last night. They went into overtime, tied at 1, but Boston came away with a win right there, 2-1. Game 2 in the best-of-5 series is Saturday in Montreal.
Patriot League college softball tournament underway. Boston University facing Army sophomore Casey Ricard from Littleton. Taking a perfect game into the 7th. Ended up pitching a one-hit shutout, beating Army 2-0. They'll face Bucknell tomorrow.
Missed opportunities and poor defense led to the Celtics getting blown out in Game 2 of their playoff series against the Cavaliers. Now it's all tied at 1. Cleveland star Donovan Mitchell took over the contest. Game-high 29 points, and that included 16 in the third quarter. The Celtics struggled with their defense the whole game. C's lose 118-94. Jaylen Brown finds the C's effort unacceptable.
I think it was just a bad game. Obviously, we didn't shoot the ball very well tonight, but defensively, it was unacceptable performance. And I think that's where, we look at that and I'm the most upset. And defensively, we gave up 118 points. And then on top of that, we lost the rebound battle.
So check this out. We have a donut bet for the Celtics and the Cavaliers. Call it a sweet wager. It's between Cane's Donuts here in Boston and Brew Nuts in Cleveland, and the loser has to send a dozen donuts and coffee to the other. I'm not sure if they had good coffee and donuts in Cleveland. But when the Celtics win, I guess we will
I
find
mean,
out.
that's the guy who's been in Cleveland.
Yeah, I've actually had Brunuts. They're pretty good. They're one of these places that throws like the kitchen sink on top of donuts.
Okay.
They also, as their name suggests,